Hey, Margot.
And me, comedian Margot Evans. Yay! Yes, we're back. We're back. Really do appreciate you guys. You're back. Your girls are back. Your girls are back. Welcome back to the Just Being Me podcast. Hey y'all. Welcome to the Just Being Me podcast with your girls. Me, comedian Margot Evans, and special guest, Miss Patrice. How you doing, Patrice?
Hey, y'all.
She's here. Miss Mary Mac is still out of town. She'll be back next week. So Patrice is sitting in for her. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast last week. I was rolling solo dolo. But I guess I got it all out, whatever I needed to say. Oh, I know. I had technical difficulties last week. I did. I was recording it. I had all the everything, like the energy and everything for the little 30 minutes that I did. Looked at my screen and it stopped 15 minutes into the show. And I'm like, oh my God. And I was already at 30 minutes. I was like, what happened? So I had to do it all over because I want to be consistent. I know that you guys love us to be consistent. So I did it all over again. But I didn't have all the energy that I had before. I tried, but hope you guys enjoyed it. I really did, because I was like, I have to redo this podcast for y'all. So I hope you enjoyed it. So the thought of the day is courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. Oh yeah, I like that. Where's my chair?
I love that.
Yeah. Courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. I like that. And that's,
we do not have many people that will listen.
That's Winston Churchill. That's from Winston Churchill. Yes. It you know what? It takes a lot to listen. And it takes courage to listen, because everybody want to be heard and everybody want to say what they have to say. But to sit and actually listen to somebody, sit down and listen to somebody and actually hear what they're saying, you might learn something. Boom. All right, y'all.
You might.
And you might not.
And you might not.
All right, y'all. Let me jump into the weekend review. What you do this weekend? All right, so Patrice already told me, don't ask me what I did for the weekend, because she's still tied up over there with her broken arm, or not broken arm. What's wrong with you, girl?
Rotator cuff.
Her rotator cuff injury. So she's over there doing the same thing every day, all day. Nothing. Nothing. But she is working on a podcast. She is working,
You
trying to figure out
that.
She got time.
Like 6 businesses. So I'm over here doing something,
yeah.
But it's yeah.
She ain't got nothing but time right now, which is actually sometimes a really good thing, because you producing some stuff over there. So,
and it's very rare. I will never have this opportunity again. Right. So let's get it.
It's kind of like the pandemic.
I didn't have time during the pandemic. Remember, I didn't have downtime.
We didn't have we didn't have downtime because we was working.
We worked, and I worked. Remember, I still work full time up and down the state.
Yep. So yeah, we didn't.
So
we were working. Yay, you guys, we got approved. Our restaurant, Pastrami on the Run, got approved for our health permit. Let me find my clapping hands. Yes. So we finally got approved this week. So we will be opening up July 1st, which is Saturday. And yeah, I need y'all to come out and buy some food. pastramionytherun.com. It ain't up right now, so you can't go. I gotta open everything back up. But we will be up and running. We're gonna have our egg rolls back, our pastrami tacos, pastrami egg rolls, pastrami sandwiches, pastrami chili cheese fries, pastrami, just all things pastrami. So can't wait. We're ready. My husband is really ready because he's been ready a long time ago. So I'm so happy about that. And then not tomorrow, Saturday. Saturday we're taking family pictures, family photos. We don't have any family photos. Like, we have not taken pictures, like professional pictures, ever. With my mom, my dad, sister, family. So we having the photographer that came out and did my she did my niece's sweet 16 party. She did my engagement party. She did my engagement pictures too. She's awesome. So she's gonna come and do our family photos on.
Is that my girl?
Asia? No, not her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know who
well,
you're talking
good.
about. Yeah.
You need something to document some time that you guys have had together. So that's wonderful.
Yep. So gonna do that. We're gonna do the white shirt and jean look, like just a white shirt and jeans, and then my mom will be wearing like all white dress. So that'll be cute. Looking forward to that. All right, y'all. Oh, and I'll get my nails done. Get my nails done Saturday.
Yeah, please go get that nail done, because that nail will be the one nail showing in the picture, all broke and crusty.
Broke and cracked and ugly. Like, you needed a whole feel. That's all I'm going to focus on, too. I needed a feel. So I'm going to do that first thing in the morning. So I'll be ready to go. Camera ready. All right, y'all. Let's jump into Let's Talk About. Okay, y'all. So the BET, or as Patrice called the EBT Awards, what came on this weekend. I missed it. It's the Hip Hop Awards, and I kept telling myself record it, and Saturday came, and it was like the last 30 minutes I recorded, so I didn't actually get a chance to see it. I don't remember who. I don't know. I seen the end. But Missy Elliott and Busta Rhymes received Lifetime Achievement Awards. So congratulations to them. I'm a big Missy Elliott fan. So is Patrice. And I'm a big Busta Rhymes fan because he's a lyricist. I love lyrics.
He's a lyricist, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, congratulations to y'all. And then, what were we hearing? We was hearing that the outfits or whatever was not as nice. Like
they were clothing challenged, is what I heard.
Clothing challenged. Okay. Well, they were supposed to be. Their theme was, I think, what they had a theme.
Oh, they had a theme.
Yeah. Let me see. BET Awards. Let me see what the theme was. I think it was like throwback something. Theme.
Oh, I didn't see no throwbacks on some of these people.
Right. BET Awards. It celebrated 50 years of hip hop, tributes to genre. Okay. Why does this keep coming on?
For it to be 50 years of hip hop, I really was not impressed with the lineup. I felt like it could have been timelined with 50 years of hip hop. Because they focused on a lot of new hip hop.
Oh, are you serious?
And so they did some old hip hop, but if you want to talk about history, let's talk about history.
Yeah.
Right? And I just felt like the show really should have been dedicated to 50 years of hip hop. I think that should have been the focus of the show, and from what I could see, it was not. And so it was just kind of disappointing for me, I think. But I think also let's caper that, because I think Tyler Perry just bought BET, so I don't know, and he's pretty good about doing that kind of stuff. So maybe he didn't have the time.
Yeah.
But the writers are also on strike, so we have to give credit to that.
Oh, yeah, that's
so maybe it was that. But I would have loved to have seen 50 because we still have people that are alive.
Yeah.
Originals, we still have those that are alive, and I would have loved to hear their long sets and to hear them and see them. Even if it was a montage or a montage of different people. So yeah.
And I think that's when I had came in. I think Kid Capri was DJing, and then like, that was like the different dances. They was like showing the different dances from back in the day. So they would play Soldier Boy and do Superman that, and then they did a couple of other dances, but that wasn't. I mean, yeah. They really could have did better, but like you said, it's a writer strike, so a writer probably would have did that, did a much better job putting that together than them just throwing it together. Cause
right. So yeah, that's. But I have stopped watching those award shows. I stopped watching them years ago, to be honest, just because. I like to hear singing and rapping of the utmost caliber, and a lot of times I hear a bunch of yelling. So, for me, entertainment is a little different than what I usually see on some of these award shows. Mm-hmm. So I kind of stopped watching these a long time ago.
Yeah. You're absolutely
and remember,
right.
You used to actually watch them get their awards. Remember, we used to actually watch them get their awards.
Yeah, that's what
now they don't do that per se.
I was just reading it said that let me see, just 6 of the 21 awards were presented on air. Like what? So they had 21 awards and they only gave out 6. It used to be a
whole big old production.
Yeah,
it used to be a really big production, and it's not that.
No, and the rappers. So like I love rap. Like I love rap. I love R&B. More rap than R&B. But now...
You're breaking up, Margot.
Oh, am I breaking up? I love more rap than R&B. And... I can't understand what's going on in the rap music nowadays. Really can't. I'm like, what? That segues... Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. That segues, too, because we was figuring out what we were going to talk about. And Patrice brought up that song where it said "Booty Hole Brown." Actually, have you heard that song? That say "Booty Hole Brown." I
am thoroughly offended.
I'm like, what are we talking about? I did hear the song before, but I actually pulled up the lyrics. It's by Sexy Red and Tay Keith, whoever that is. Sorry if I don't know, but. This is where rap loses me. This is where I stay on 93.5 and listen to old school rap because of this right here. It says in the song, too many bitches. Where's the niggas at? I'm trying to get my coochie scratched. You know them dreadheads do it best. I like a nigga with a check. All my niggas give me neck. You know I'm sexy. I'm the best. I'm the shit, little bitch. I'm that. What? And it start off with my coochie pink, my booty hole brown. Where the niggas? I'm looking for hoes. Quit playing. Nigga, come suck a bitch toe. What?
Wow. So we just, we really just out telling, I can't even talk. We really just out here telling men that it's okay when they refer to us as those things that we spot so hard for them not to refer us as and to take us serious. And we're really just out here saying, no, I am that. I'm that and then some.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. I don't.
And everybody know your coochie is pink and your booty hole is brown. Like everybody knows that.
Right.
That's the part of a female anatomy. We didn't need the vivid description.
Didn't need it to be in the song.
I done had, scratches on the inside of your coochie ain't really the business, baby. So I'm I'm a little confused. that requires an OBGYN visit.
Right.
So I'm a little confused.
Yeah, that I don't I don't get it. I really don't. I don't get it. I don't.
And these lyrics they be all over the place for me these days. They make no sense. They're not in chronological order. And not that every lyric needs to be in chronological order in the way it's supposed to happen. But you call yourself a lyricist, but then the lyrics they don't make sense.
Yeah.
Lyrics make sense in the way that they spit it.
Right.
Like when you hear Megan she spits in lyricist form.
Yeah.
This right here just sounds like a bunch of words y'all threw on the table and then y'all just started picking them to put them in to see where they were going to fit because she's trying to rhyme.
Right. Yep.
And even rhyming back in the day made sense.
Yeah. It was saying something. It was meaning something. It wasn't just like google gobble google 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 gobble google google blah 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 to a good beat. Like it wasn't that. It was actually saying something, and it could be dissing somebody. It can be talking about something, whatever it is. But it had a flow. It had a beginning. Right. It had a middle. It had an end. It's not just throw the ABCs up on the wall and just see how it's splattered. That's how y'all rap. Just like.
What is that called in the English language? What is that called? That's called. Oh my God, what is it called in the English language? It's not a paradigm. It's not a. Oh my God, what is it called? Anyway, I'm getting too technical about it, but that is what a poet does, right?
Yeah.
Because if you say you're a lyricist, you also kind of are telling people you're a poet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So with that being said, I'm going to need you to get better at that.
Yeah.
But is this song one of those 15 minutes of fame kind of songs?
Yep.
They grabbed the girl off the street. She needed a hit. Like, is it one of those? Mm-hmm. Or is this kind of rap here to stay? Where it makes no damn sense.
It makes no sense. And then you know what? They rap off beat. So like, I hate to say it because people like Glorilla, but Glorilla.
Is that a girl?
It's a girl. She raps off the beat, just like what's his name, Blueface. They rap off the beat. Like where are you rapping at? It's another City Girl. They rap off the beat. I'm like, I can't even. I'm sorry, I'm choking over here. I can't even keep up with the rap because it's a beat and y'all rapping either on top of the beat or under the beat, but not on the beat. And I'm like, okay, I can't even enjoy the song.
Right. But you know the difference with, I think, a City Girl is if you really listen to the words, she's rapping off beat to rhyme. And I can appreciate that than to rap off beat just to be saying something. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like her, because, and I honestly, here's what I really think is happening. These kids can speak English to save their lives.
Right.
And I think they slow these beats down to catch up with their diction and the way they pronounce words. Because if you notice, they don't pronounce words correctly.
Right.
So, and I'm not saying that as a diss. I'm saying that as a culture, we tend to put a lot of ebonics in our speech, where I think ebonics has taken over our English language.
Yeah.
So, that's what I think is going on a lot of times. Like, I can't understand half of the stuff she's saying, but she can show pronounce my coochie is pink. She can pronounce that.
Right.
But ask her to say phonics and see if she can pronounce that.
No. Mm-mm.
But okay.
Yep. If y'all look, I feel like the old people back in the day, when I used to listen to, which still do, but you know, back in the day, I would be listening to NWA and you know, all that gangster rap. And then my dad took that cassette out of my car twice. NWA, and it was a cassette, y'all. It wasn't no CD, and it wasn't no MP3 player. It wasn't streaming online. It was an actual cassette. And I went and brought it, and I bumped my NWA, and he threw it out of my car twice. I'm like, okay, I gotta hide it. I'm gonna listen to my NWA. Yeah. I don't know. So I feel like the old people now.
I wasn't allowed to listen to rap. I wasn't allowed to listen to rap. Not to say that I didn't. Now, I did not know a lot about NWA. I didn't really find out about rap till I got to college.
Oh, wow.
I was more, because I love New Edition and Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston. That was kind of my genre.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was not allowed to listen. My grandfather was military.
Oh, yeah, you wasn't listening.
And so, yeah, we wasn't allowed to do all that. And so when I would hear at school, I would be like, oh, okay. And I went to a Catholic school. So I'm not saying it didn't play there. It didn't play as prevalent there as when I went to the public school. It was playing all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was bumping my rap music. Let's see. So, moving on along. So they are showing pictures of Beyonce at one of her concerts, saying that she intentionally flashed folks her vagina. And it looks, they said viral videos appear to be genuine. Excuse me. I don't think. Oh, let's see. This is yet another example of celebrity fake news circulated on WhatsApp. Oh, okay. So on this is saying that it's not real. Beyonce is wearing a bodysuit. Oh, that's okay. So they going by facts. So they said fact one: viral Beyonce video appears to be genuine. However, it's a deep fake video. Not able to confirm the video was recorded in Paris. Wait, hold on, y'all. Let me get myself together. Hold on. Okay, y'all. Sorry about that. I had to gather myself because I was not going to stop coughing. So I don't know, the way that the video looked. It looked like she was showing her little cooch, but I don't think she would do anything like that. Like, she doesn't have to do it. Oh, they actually did somebody had did a zoom in on the picture, and she has on a bodysuit the same color as her dress. Plus, she's wearing same color as to her dress. Like, her dress is like a rainbowish, purple, green, yellowish color, and the bodysuit is the same thing. Mm-hmm. Actually, the bodysuit is the top part of her outfit, and she has on fishnet stockings. So the way that the picture looked, it like she ain't have on no underwear at all, and that mean that she didn't have them fishnet stockings on either. That mean her whole coochie was just hanging out. That's what it looked like. It was not at all.
Yeah, I don't think her coochie just hanging out like that. I don't know. After 3 kids, you can't let your coochie just hang out. Yeah, you can't just let it hang out with no support.
No support, nothing.
I don't know about that.
Nothing. I'm sure she knew she was going to be sitting down, and she just was going to just be like, oh, I'm going to sit right here, and whatever they see, they see. No, I don't think so. I think Beyonce know better than that. And
I don't think Tina would go for that.
No, I'm sure she wouldn't. So yeah, y'all didn't see. Y'all thought y'all seen Beyonce cooch, but it wasn't. So in Chicago, you was telling me about this story. I seen this video on TikTok, and I didn't know it was like it was just showing a guy in like a fast food restaurant arguing with a lady, and he was like, well, hurry up then, whatever. And then he just hauled off and punched her, and then it went off. But you ended up giving me the rest of the scoop on this. What happened?
So the son grabbed a gun. I guess the mother had a gun. The son grabbed a gun and shot the guy in the back, but he kept shooting. So the guy eventually died. They initially filed charges against the mother and the son, but they just dropped the charges. And I'm so glad they did, because that is clearly self-defense. Because what random person just walks up to someone and just start hitting them? But how do you know the danger? Just because he's walking away doesn't mean that I'm not in danger. What if he was going to grab a gun to come back?
Right. Because obviously he was heated. Like, he was super heated.
Right. So, I like how they handled it. And I'm kind of glad, too. I don't know if it wasn't on video, would it have been handled the same? So, in that case, we always talk about how everything is on video and people got their phones. But I'm kind of glad people had their phones that vindicated this lady who was minding her business.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't care how much I talk back to somebody. That don't give you a right to put your hands on me.
Yeah, especially.
I don't care what I say to you. So he's been neutralized, as they said.
He has been neutralized.
And I don't mean to make light of that, but what kind of person are you that just go around punching women? And I mean, he revved it back, honey. It was like he had been waiting to do that all day.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
That you go around hitting people, especially hitting women like they're me.
Yeah.
And then hit her again. He didn't hit her once. I think he hit her like 2 or 3 times.
Right.
Like, the first time wasn't enough for you. You came back and did it again.
And the first punch was a really, like, drawn back punch. I was like, damn, he just...
Like, he reached back to the ancestors for that person.
Yeah, socked the shit out of her.
And then you did it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... I think anybody would have done... And see, that's why don't give me no gun. Because, girl, I be popping everybody. People get on my nerves. But it's you got to be careful about what you do and who you do it to, because people walk around these days, they don't expect consequences. They go around treating people kind of crazy, and then they get away with it, and they think that their day is not coming, and your day is always coming.
Right. Yeah. He picked the right one that day. He really did. He really did. I'm not an advocate. For me, because I be watching my reality shows, and some of these women be going off, and words hurt, and words will trigger people. So I'm like this: you can say, and you might say the wrong word, and they trigger me to be pop your ass. You can't just be out of pocket, out of mouth, and just don't think nothing else can happen to you. But in this case right here, I didn't see nothing that she was saying that was wrong. And even if she did, she's a female. And she not even with, y'all, you don't even know this lady. She was like, okay, well, whatever. Because you couldn't really even hear what she was saying when he was just going off. She was just like, okay, like, whatever. It did not warrant, whatever she said, that did not warrant him to haul off and hit her like that.
But here's the real guy. Wait your turn. If you don't get to the window before me, then your ass is behind me.
Get behind me.
You don't get to rush me, and I can only go as fast as the person taking my order will allow me to go.
Right.
So I'm not obligated to let you do anything outside of, and I'm just saying this is hypothetical. I don't know if this is what happened, but I also see this a lot. Like, if I'm getting food, I'll be standing in line, and because I haven't moved fast enough, somebody jumps in front of me. Wait a minute. Give me a minute. So what if I have a handicap? What if I wasn't paying attention? Like, people, let's slow down.
Yeah.
And give people proper courtesy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not gonna hurt you to wait for that person to place the order, and then you go next. Like, see, had you waited, you'd probably be here to get another burger tomorrow. But now you didn't rushing to get a freaking hamburger. Like, what? You lost your life.
In Chicago, that burger must have been good. That burger, whatever that was, that must have been a fire dynamite burger for you
to lose your life over. Yeah, I'm like,
for you to get that angry,
right?
With so somebody you don't know,
just had to shoot you and keep shooting. He was only 14 years old. The mom was 32. No, wait, she was 35. The guy that died was 32, and I mean, hey,
the son is 14.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I hate that the son had to even go through that, because I feel like now the son is going to need some.
Yeah, he'll need some help. He's traumatized. That's why he kept shooting. He don't know what he was doing. He just kept shooting. He didn't do it. That's why they dropped him charges, because he wasn't doing it maliciously. Like, oh, I'm trying to kill you. It's just like you.
He trying to protect his mom.
Yeah, you done punched my mama 3 times. No.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
I hope his family has some closure. I hope she never experienced. I hope the young lady never has to experience something like that ever again.
Right.
And I hope both of them are healed. But we've got to treat people better.
Right. They were saying after the teen stopped shooting, his mother allegedly told him to shoot the girlfriend, who authorities said encouraged Brown during the earlier altercation.
Now that's wrong.
Yeah,
but I'm glad he didn't shoot him, because he would be in jail then.
Yeah, and it said allegedly, but they let them go, so they didn't do that.
Right.
Shoot Brown's girlfriend. Yeah.
But see, as a woman, you sitting by encouraging that. Here we go with the way of the world. Mm-hmm. It's like you sitting by encouraging that, because ain't no way in hell I could have watched my man punch another woman, unless he already punching me out.
Yeah, obviously I'm sure he did, and she ain't gonna say nothing. He
has a propensity for violence.
Yeah,
he's prone to be violent. Yeah, craziness.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. So another incident with an idiot man. So there was a man. Let me see, where are they from? Indiana. So a man walks up to a woman in Indiana. She went to go get her mail. He walked up behind her, put the gun to her back, told him to give her money. She said, he asked her to go into her house, and she said, I don't have any money in my house, but I do have money in my car. So they walked over to the car. She gave him $100. And then so he said to the lady, hey, look me up on Facebook and friend me. And so she was like, what? So she did. She looked him up, friend him. And then he got on Facebook. He found her. And he told her that before he left, actually, he said that he was going to pay her back. And then he messengered her and said that, she was too pretty to rob. So he was going to give her money back. And he he wanted to have a relationship. He told her to come over and chill with him. Mister.
Are
Sir.
you serious?
Yeah. He said, come chill. He said, asking her to come chill. And she said, this is what she said. She said, I believe you, man. I can tell you're sweet. You're sweet. Time's just rough. I know that. But she was just trying to be, cool so that they can get him, and they did. They picked him up. She told her boyfriend, and they, set him up and went to go pick him up. And he had actually robbed somebody else earlier, and then he shot 2 people and threw a brick at somebody. So they was already looking for him. Come on, man. You are not You are what? Like that's just like the dumbest criminal.
Oh my gosh, I cannot. But there is a such thing as dumb criminals. Not all criminals are the smartest and the most.
They don't be
clever.
thinking. They just so stupid. You like friend me on Facebook. I'm gonna give you your money back because you too pretty to rob, but you took my $100. But you gonna pay me back? What?
That's just like the guys that be on First 48 and they shoot somebody, but then they all on Facebook advertising the gun. They just shot the person.
Right? Like,
you're just like, why? Why?
Why are you doing this? So
and
stupid.
The police, they just go straight to Facebook. They be like, look this person up.
Right.
Oh, look, he done took 5,000 pictures with the guns.
Yep, the guns, the money, everything.
Oh man.
Yep. Bragging, everything. Y'all so dumb. I'm glad you guys are dumb because those are the ones that need to be caught and locked up because y'all weird and stupid.
You either slick or you quick.
Right.
That's my newest saying. People like, you either slick or you quick.
You slick or you quick. Cause yeah. So yep, he's in jail. He only had a bail of $7,500 cash bond, and he's due to go to court Tuesday. That's crazy. Okay. That's it for Let's Talk About It. So, we have a actually we're gonna turn it into. So I had a rave. I had a rave, and then Patrice and I started talking about this prior to the podcast. And it actually turned into a rant. So, it's going to be a rant.
I was going to say, that was a rave?
Yeah, no.
It was a rave. It was, you did start it off as a rave.
It started off as a rave, and then ended up into a rant. So.
Well, let's start it off as a rave again. Because, I mean, let's start it off as a rave again. Because okay. I want to give you credit where credit is due.
Yes. So, I will start off as a rave, and then we'll discuss it, and then we'll turn to a rant. But, so I was watching, so we know Coco Melon, like for kids, they have Gracie's Corner, who is a little black girl that sings like songs for kids, young kids. I'm trying to see the age limit, probably like I think you said 2 to 10 or whatever. And so she sings like the ABC, she's singing a happy song, she's do the letters, the numbers. And then the other day, my niece had told me, "Oh, Big Frida is one of the like they have a celebrity on there now." And so Big Frida was the one on there. Snoop Dogg is on one for Girl Power, and so he played it. She played it. It's Roll Your Boat remix, and it was jamming. I actually really liked the song. So Patrice asked me, "Is she on there as a she or a he?" And I said,
not really what I said.
What'd you say? What did you say?
I said, is she on there in a wig, or is he on there in his natural form?
In his natural form. Okay, yes. And I said she has on her wig, like Big Frida. Big Frida is Big Frida. It looks like a female. She looks like a girl on here. Cartoon figure. Looks like a girl to me. But then my little nephew has asked, why was her voice so deep? And we just laughed it off. Like, okay, yeah. So I appreciate, this was my rave, that I appreciate that now there are, because they have these Coco Melons and they have all these other little, songs for kids and everything. And my little nephew loves Coco Melon, but Coco Melon only has one little black kid on there that looks like him. And the rest are the little white kids or whatever. And then Gracie's Corner is all black. So it's an all black family. Gracie's a daughter. They have a little baby. It's the mother and father. And then the grandpa and the grandpa and the grandma and whoever their guests are. So Big Frida is actually a guest on this one. So this conversation turns into like what we've been seeing in the news is like the teachers or the schools wanting to teach kids about sexual orientation, about, it's Gay Pride Month, and, we've been seeing fights, and like, don't teach my kids nothing about this, and it's too early, and it's elementary school kids. I don't want you to teach my kids.
I'm preschool, because Gracie's Corner is 2 to 8. So we talking about not preschool. We talking about preschool.
So this is where it turns into a rant, because in my opinion, as a kid, they don't know. They don't know who Big Frida is. They don't. If I'm 2, I don't know. I just see a cartoon and I see this person and they're singing Row, Row, Row Your Boat. I'm not thinking anything beyond that. Now, my nephew is 7 and he did ask why why the person's voice is deep. But there's women with deep voices. To me, it's innocent as that. But then you could go deeper. And so Patrice goes deeper. So I'll let you say what you said.
So my thing is, so let's keep it a buck. Do I appreciate an all-black cartoon for our black children? Yes, I do. Do I love the concept? Yes, I do. However, and I think this is things we forget about. We talk about our kids being overly sexualized, and especially, and I looked up the statistics as we were waiting. Our girls are overly sexualized, biased, complicit. We receive the most slack for just being girls, black girls on top of that. Our bodies, our minds, everything. Why do we need to continue to perpetuate that to children that don't have the ability to know that yet? Because guess what? Even racism starts in the womb. We have to be careful about what we expose children, period. The media, and I'm talking about black, white, and alike, has a funny way of hypersexualizing children. They've done it even when we were little. Mm-hmm. And so where do we say enough is enough? I don't want my 2 to 7 or 8-year-old. 8 might be a little older, but I don't want my 2 to 6. Let's do 2 to 6. I don't want my 2 to 6 to be hyperly sexualized like that. To have to ask, why is her voice so deep? Because I have a deep voice, but you can still tell that there's some feminine undertones to it. Mm-hmm. I don't hear feminine undertones when I hear Big Frida. And here was my thing. I was not talking, yes, I asked if she was in her wig, but I'm more or less talking about age appropriateness. What age appropriate is to see a man in a wig? How is that age appropriate? At 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Well, it's not a man in a wig at a cartoon. That's what I'm saying. It's not a man in a wig.
I just looked at it. It is still a man in a wig.
No, it's not.
Well, they tried to make it a little bit more feminine. But even that's a deceit. Even that's deceptive. Right? Because at the end of the day, yes, Big Frida, let me tell you something. I love Big Frida. And Big Frida be looking better than most women I know.
Right.
And I'm going to give her credit for that. However, the facts still remain, and she doesn't make any qualms about it. Right? But what I'm saying is, for my 2-year-old, my 3-year-old, my 4-year-old, how is that age appropriate? Because, and maybe I'm just overthinking it. Maybe it's not that big of a deal. But then we take that and then we couple it with the fact that you got elementary school teachers in kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade asking people what their sexual orientation is.
Now that's different. Like, that's different.
But it's still being hypersexualized.
So that
is
go ahead.
It all rolls under the same category. It's just different subcategories. But it's all under the same category.
I don't think it's under the same category. I honestly don't think that I mean, in my opinion, I don't think it's under the same category because we know who Big Frida is. Your 2-year-old, your 3-year-old, your 4-year-old, looking at this cartoon, just looking at the cartoon, does not know who Big Frida is. Don't know that Big Frida is a man with a wig on. We know that. So we are putting more onto our 2-year-old than we need to put on to our 2-year-old. But on the other hand, that's one category. That's not, I don't think that has anything to do with sexual. I don't think this cartoon will prompt your 2-year-old, your 3-year-old, your 4-year-old to be hypersexualized. To be like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. This is a man that has a deep voice. What? I don't think they're going to go that far. But if a teacher or someone in authority at their school is asking them, do you like females? Do you like males? Are you queer? Are you gay? Like, that's too far. That's too far. But
one question leads to another. One question leads to another. One question, it's like a domino effect. One question leads to another, and another, and another. And my thing again is appropriateness. We have our kids between 2 and 10 are killed the most, are raped the most because of the hyper and over sexualization. Those are facts. And we can sit here and say they don't know who Big Frida is, but let's just say they didn't hear Big Frida. And I'm not saying that they should not hear Big Frida. I'm talking smooth appropriate. I think her song was very appropriate. I'm talking about the overall narrative in general, is what I'm talking. I'm not necessarily, yes, Big Frida was what brought the conversation up, but Big Frida is not the subject of the conversation. And that's what I wanted to convey. I'm talking strictly about appropriateness. What's appropriate and what's not appropriate. Now, you might think Big Frida was appropriate. That's fine. I don't know if she was or not anyway, to be honest with you, because I don't have no 2 or 4-year-old. I'm just saying, as a parent, I would rather have that choice. Knowing what Big Frida stands for, knowing what Big Frida knowing what she stands for, knowing who she is, I would have rather had that choice up front. Now, you said then the parent needs to look at every episode, but I'm like, we don't look at every episode of TV we look at.
No, I didn't say that they didn't know. I don't think that they would need to look at every episode, but if I have a problem with, feeling like my child is going to be exposed to something that they shouldn't be exposed to, if I see Row Your Boat featuring Big Frida, that's something that, and I have a problem with that because I know who Big Frida is. She's not a female. She's a male. She's going to have a deeper voice. For my own reasons, I don't want my child to watch this. That's where you need to police your children from watching, because me, parent number 2, don't really care. Like, I don't care if my child watch Row Your Boat with Big Frida. I don't care. So it's a double-edged sword. Like, you either... If you want your child to be so sheltered over here to not watch or see or hear or know, then you have to live that life because the world is moving. The world is going where it's going to go.
I think that's unfair to say sheltered. I feel like it needs to be appropriate in time. I think it's unfair to say sheltered.
It is,
no
but
kid is ever going to be sheltered.
Exactly.
I just don't think you should have the right to expose my kid to what you want to expose my kid when you feel like you want to expose my kid. What if my kid cannot handle that? What if my kid cannot mentally or physically handle that? I think it's unfair to assume that I want to shelter my kid. I want to make sure my kid can take things in at the appropriate time because not every kid learns and does the same. Right. I think that's unfair to say.
But, and again, like I said, the world is moving. It's not the way that it was 51 years ago when I was born.
Kids don't move in the way the world moves. Kids, and that's unfair to say too. We talk about what's the way of the world, but kids don't move the same.
But the kids these days...
developing minds don't move the same.
They don't. But the kids developing minds nowadays, they don't move the same as 51 years ago because now they have access to phones and computers.
I'm not 51, by the way.
I'm saying me. I'm 51.
I'm like, girl, don't put that number on me.
I put it on myself. It's me this year, 51.
I'm talking about 10 years ago. Like, let's use a more realistic number. Let's talk about 10 years ago. Let's talk about 5 years ago.
We can talk about 17 years ago when my niece, she grew up with a computer, a phone, a tablet. She can go on all of this stuff and look at it without. So you can't give your kids these things.
Let me ask you this, okay? If I have a tablet, give my kid, and I tell my kid that my kid cannot look at unage appropriate information. Now that's on the tablet, so that doesn't come up. Is it right that Big Frida comes up on her tablet in a cartoon?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I don't know. It's not maybe.
And you and I both know that Big Frida is typically not age appropriate for a 2-year-old.
In this cartoon, she is though. But in this cartoon, she is. She's not Big Frida, the personality Big Frida.
Hell, I'm even mad that Snoop Dogg was on there. If you want to,
and he's a dog, a purple dog. So that's what I'm saying. The parent is the one that reads into these things and make them extra than what they are. If a 2-year-old watches this and sees the person, the cartoon of Big Frida and the cartoon of Snoop Dogg, they don't know the difference. We hear all the time, though. But we hear all the time how children read into stuff that don't be there too. And it's not only the parent doing it. These kids watch these cartoons. They think they can fly. They jumping off bridges and ledges. It's all relative. It is.
It's all relative.
But see, I guess you will have to. Now I'm just talking about Big Frida and Snoop Dogg in this Gracie's Corner. They're not over nothing. They're a person that's in, or a dog that's in the video. She's not Big Frida, the personality. But this would be.
And I like the song. I'm talking about strictly age appropriate.
But just looking at this.
If Big Frida had came as an elephant, I don't think we'd be having this conversation.
But we talking about Snoop Dogg being inappropriate, and he's a purple dog. So.
I mean, he was a dog, though, is my thing. He was a dog. He wasn't that Snoop Dogg, but he was a dog. I'm just saying I could accept the dog before I could accept Snoop as an individual.
But I can accept Frida on.
Oh shoot!
On here, what happened?
I snorted.
Oh, I can accept Frida on here as a cartoon character, not Frida, Big Frida shaking her booty like she ain't shaking her booty on here. She row in the boat.
But then, okay, so let me ask you a question. Let's talk about the 2-year-old is not going to look up Big Frida. The 4-year-old is not going to look up Big Frida. But what happens when the 5 or 6-year-old goes to look up Big Frida? Because their minds are more advanced, right? And they look up on YouTube. Let's say they're watching it on YouTube, and now they put in Big Frida. Now what happens? What barrier do we cross now?
Because parent A, who doesn't want their child to be exposed to all those things, when they look up Big Frida,
in the first place.
When they look up Big Frida, they're not gonna see nothing but Gracie's Corner with Big Frida on it. That's it.
But she shouldn't have been exposed to it in the first place to even get that curiosity thought.
But see, there's no curiosity to be had because I'm looking at a cartoon picture of a person. It's no curiosity there. If she was there as Big Frida, the person, maybe, yes. But Big Frida, the cartoon character, no. Like, I don't think that.
But let's do this because I had a nephew do this. Let's do this. What if she looking for more? What if she liked that song, and she looks up Big Frida and Gracie's Corner, but Big Frida pops up first? What I'm saying is the innocence of a kid should not be mistaken for adult activity.
So how do you?
Because that's how kids. I do it. I'm looking for one thing and something completely different pops up. The internet of all things has no control of what we really trying to do.
Right. So that's why I said it could now because and that's why I use the word shelter. Not shelter to where I don't want my kid to see. No, yes. Shelter if I'm that parent that I don't want my child to be hypersexualized, I'm just using that word, or see something that I don't want them to see, me as a parent will have to police my child from seeing these things.
But my point of the matter is, and you ask any person in the world, especially when you're on the internet of things, there is nothing you can 100% police. Period.
But my child wouldn't. Exactly why my child wouldn't be on there. They wouldn't be. They wouldn't be on there. Period.
But they would be.
No, they wouldn't. They would be. No, they wouldn't.
Because you cannot police 100% of any and everything, which is why we have to stick to more age-appropriate things. If we stuck to more age-appropriate things, we would not have a lot of the dispositions we have. We wouldn't.
My child, if I didn't want them to see, because of the way of the world, that's why I keep bringing up the way of the world. Everything is on the internet. Everything is on the TV. Everything is on my child's tablet. Everything is on easy access. They know how to get the stuff faster. If I felt like I didn't want my child to know anything unless I told them what it was, and I, my kid is not.
Yeah, at 2, you should be telling them anything. But yes, at 2.
I mean, but I wouldn't. Absolutely. But I wouldn't be. I wouldn't. Me, as if I was a parent, I wouldn't block my kids. I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't block them to see.
I mean, hey, because at the end of the day, look. What I'm saying is...
Because I'll be more open with my kids. Like, I would not have a problem explaining the way of the world that some people... At 2 years old. At 3 years old. That's my child. But that's my child.
How is her little brain... computing that?
Now, let me tell you... I wouldn't just blurt it out and be like, okay, look, Big Frida is a man. No, but if my child had a question, I would explain it. Like, my nephew... said that the lady's voice is
y'all
deep.
Laughed it off.
We did, and we did laugh it off. We laughed it off, and we kept it pushing. But if he had a question, like if he went into it too, like he actually had a question, he's just being silly. But if he had a question about it, we would have talked to him.
Question. He wasn't being silly. Why the hell is her voice so damn deep? She taking steroids. Like, why is that voice so deep?
No, that was
she a man. Why.
He was being silly. But I mean, but still, my sister.
I get where you're coming. I mean, I can appreciate where you're coming from. I'm just saying that for somebody. Wait a minute. I'm gonna toot my own horn. For somebody that worked in and that proceeds to work on the internet and do that, it's not that simple. It really is not that simple.
So what's the solution?
Which is why we have to be very careful in how we present information to children. We have to be careful about how we present information to children. I'm not saying Big Frida on Gracie's Corner was right, wrong, or indifferent. I'm talking strictly about appropriateness and how we have to be very careful about how we present because everything is so readily available. We have to be careful.
Well, I do understand that there are things that's out there that should not be in in front of a child, but children are very crafty. So I keep using the word shelter. If I don't want my child to know things unless I tell them, I'm not going to have my child on electronics. I'm not going to do it. You're not going to have a phone. You're not going to have this because I want you to live in my bubble until you're
What 2-year-old got their own phone?
They have a tablet and they use their mama's phones. Yes, they come out the womb with a phone and a tablet.
Oh, okay.
My niece and my nephews had, if they didn't have the tablet yet, they didn't get it for Christmas by the time they turned 1 or 2, they had their mother's phone. So, yeah. These kids are coming out the womb with a phone in it.
We could. That's a whole nother subject we could talk about because there's not necessarily, these kids are not learning as fast as they used to learn either. These kids are slower in learning. These kids are not as what's the word? I don't want to use the word I want to use, but these kids are having some delayed and that's why you have the largest. Right now, you have the largest gap of children that have behavior issues and learning issues.
Yeah, for sure.
Why is that?
Because they on these tablets and phones. That's why.
Thank you. That's my point.
Yeah, they on the tablets and they on the phones.
I'm saying that to say, that's what I'm saying. We have to be very careful about how it's all relative to me. It all rolls into one when you have a developing mind. And again, I'm not saying Frida wasn't appropriate on the show. I mean, she did a really good stunt. I kind of liked it. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying we have to be very careful about what happens on these shows, because these TV in general, and you have to admit, TV in general, TV and radio has a very bad habit of overstimulating us early.
Yeah.
It does. And that's just the facts.
It does.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that Big Frida wasn't right, and I'm not saying that. I'm talking about strictly age appropriateness is what I'm talking about.
But I go back to the adult. The adult, if I don't want my child to listen to rap music, then I'm not going to play rap music in my car, and they're not going to have access to any rap music because.
But if I'm a parent and I don't know who the hell Big Frida is, I'm at a disadvantage already. So why even expose my kid to that? I don't know who what if I don't know who Big Frida is?
Then that you as a parent, see if you see on here it says featuring Big Frida and you're that particular, you need to look who Big Frida is before you allow your child to watch it at 2.
But then that goes back to most people in general don't look up stuff before they do it.
But I'm just saying, if you're that particular, you will. So if you see Big Frida and you know, I'm a particular parent, I don't want my kid to see this and that. I don't want to have to. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Just like it's unrealistic to expose your kid to every damn thing. It's unrealistic. You should not be exposing your kid. You should not have to sit down at 2, 3, 4, or 5 and explain to your kid the difference between a man and a woman.
You shouldn't. But if they ask the question,
but they've asked the question because it's either something they've seen or something they've heard. And my point is we need to protect what they hear and see.
But we
need to protect
that. But the way of the world, like, it's not going to go away. So people
just because the way of the world don't make it right.
No, but I'm just saying we're going to see. It
don't make it right.
But it don't make it wrong either. If we gonna see people that's
it makes it wrong for me to have to explain to my 2 and 4-year-old. Yes, that's wrong as fuck. That's wrong as 2 left shoes.
Because
I need to explain to my 2 and my 4-year-old what the difference between a man and a woman. That's very wrong.
No,
unless I'm explaining it in terms to their private parts, because they're learning about their own bodies. Why should they be overexposed to an adult?
So
that's wrong as hell.
No. I'm not, in my opinion, it's not, because, like, again, the way of the world, women are men are women. So you telling them to hide, not be around 2-year-olds that may be curious about what's going on. So where are they supposed to go? Because they're here. So now where are they supposed to go?
Wait, say that again.
So if your 2-year-old is in the store and Big Frida is in the store and your I won't say a 2-year-old, but let's say a 5-year-old. And he's like, Mommy, why does that lady look like a man? So where are all these people supposed to go? Because the way of the world is the way that it is.
Can't control. Those are items I can't control. I can't control that. My point is, why should I have to explain that to my 2? Why should I have to openly have my kid exposed to that on a regular basis and have to explain that to my kid? There's a difference between seeing it walking in a mall and seeing it versus seeing it every day on my TV screen. There's a difference. That's a big difference.
So your 2-year-old, so that means you allow your 2-year-old and 5-year-olds to watch adult movies?
Hell, they watching Gracie's Corner. Hell, they watching Gracie's Corner. Don't tell them what the hell she got on there now.
No, see, now you backing up. Okay, so now you backing up because
I'm just saying.
No, because
you're saying that, and I'm saying, hell, I allowed her to watch Gracie's Corner, and now look, Gracie's Corner. I didn't ask for her to be exposed on Gracie's Corner, but she was.
But that's not. That's where I keep going back to Gracie's Corner and Big Frida being on here. Your 2-year-old is not going to ask you any questions about this cartoon character.
You don't know that because you don't know my 2-year-old.
Yeah,
you don't know that. You're assuming that. You don't know that because you don't know my 2-year-old.
But then, if
what I'm saying is, we shouldn't even put kids in that position.
That's where I go back to shelter. If you are
no,
that
you shouldn't
so
put kids in that position. Why they got to be sheltered?
But
why do they have to be sheltered to not be in a position to not be a kid? Why do they have to be sheltered to be in a position to have a part of their innocence taken away?
But how is
something that they could have learned a little later? They could have learned. I don't mind them learning that. Yes. Do I want to control that? Why should you control what my kid?
You just went away. Where'd you go?
Oh, I'm on mute.
Oh,
I just said this whole rant. Why is it that I need to let you control what my kid does, and my kid won't be sheltered? But if I control what my kid sees at 2 versus 2.5, now my kid is sheltered. That's BS.
No, but
that's BS.
But if you,
so who are you qualified to expose my kid to anything? Who are you?
Nobody. But you're in control of your kid and what your kid watches. So if you have a problem with the way of the world,
my kid won't be watching Gracie's Corner. See, black shows just went out the door, black, white, or otherwise.
That's right.
They can't even watch the Big Red Dog.
That's
but
right.
Then that's shelter.
Yeah.
Why not just put age appropriate stuff on TV? Why does it have to be sheltered because it's not age appropriate?
But okay, let's take the Gracie's Corner out of it. What example are you saying that's not age appropriate for a 2 to 10-year-old? A chicken nugget.
Sorry. What do you mean? What do I mean by what's age appropriate? What I mean by age appropriate TV, I mean things like you got the Nickelodeon channel. You got stuff like that you don't see hypersexual. I mean, not the Nickelodeon, but Nick Jr. and Disney Jr. You don't see any sign of sexually anything inappropriate. And I'm not even talking about sexually. Maybe I'm using the wrong word. But inappropriateness in appearance, in material, anything. I'm saying let's just be neutral across the board when it comes to the babies.
So what is
why not be neutral?
What is something that's not appropriate for an age? I'm trying to get an example of what's not appropriate.
2-year-old? Not a 2-year-old. Before what's something not appropriate?
Yeah, for 2 to 10-year-old.
For you to tell my kid that Susie likes to be called he. That's inappropriate as hell.
Yes,
that's
but that's not a TV show.
For Big Frida to really be a man and she's on here perpetrating a fraud. That's inappropriate as hell.
Like I said, I think that is inappropriate for it to be brought up in schools of, are you gay? Are you queer? Are you this? Or
well, hell, by the time they get to school, they already know about it because guess what? They've been overly, hyperly sexualized at 2, 3, 4, 5.
But by who?
On their tablets. So they already know about it. You might as well just continue the trend.
No. I understand that the school situation. I think that they should ask if they should ask the parents, because some parents may not want to talk about it and feel like they would want their child to know something, not the sexualized things, but you want to know the pronouns. Like we were talking about earlier, I had somebody at work that wanted to be called them, they. And we're not used to the pronouns. That's something we're not used to. And that person had got kind of upset because she was called a she. And so we had to tell her she has to understand that this is new to everybody. Like I started calling her by her name. Like you said, you had one. You started calling her by.
But you know what? It's the way of the world. So get with it.
And it is the way of the world.
Get with it.
It is
Call that girl.
The them and the they, but they have to. That you're right. It is the way of the world, and it is being taught. But they have to understand that we have to learn it. Don't get upset with us because that's not the way that we learned. We learned he, she. We didn't learn them, they. This is something that's brand new to us. But I feel the same way about kids.
You feel like it's the way of the world, but you have to understand that you might need to go a little slower. I feel the same way.
No, but I don't think I feel the same way. Not, but look, I'm not saying expose your 2-year-old to them, they, and lesbians and gay people. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that the way of the world is, if your child comes to you and asks you about it, either you're going to say, I'm going to tell you what it is, or if it's in schools that they have, that you give them consent, and you have somebody like a board certified psychologist or a board certified psychiatrist, somebody that's
now my kid got to see a psych, and I ain't even do nothing about
no, but this is no. This is, if you would say, you would give your child permission to be in this class, because some people just can't explain it. They don't feel comfortable explaining it. So if my kid is school age and they're going to school, and I give them permission to do that, to explain it, I don't want Jane Joe, who's a teacher that's gay, to come in and try to explain it to my child. No, I don't want that. But if I had somebody that was board certified that can kind of explain these things and the psychology around it, yes, I would say yes. I would want my child to be exposed to something like that. And I would sit in the class. Can I be available there? Because I want to make sure that they're not telling my child or asking them, are you gay? Are you a lesbian? Are you queer? I want to be in that class. I'm taking the day off, and I'm going to be in the class, and I'm going to listen to what they have to say. And then I'm going to go home to my child, and I'm going to explain it more myself. That's how I would handle it. Because it is the way of the world. They're going to be gay, queer, lesbian, men, women, men. It's going to be that. It's not going away. So what are you going to do?
I didn't say it was going away, but what I feel like is we should not be encouraging and insisting upon it being that way, is what I'm saying.
It's not encouraging or insisting. It's just accepting.
It's not putting the information out. I think anything under 18 is irresponsible. Anything under 18 is irresponsible. These kids are barely are finding their way in the world. And so at the end of the day, you don't want your kid to be quote unquote sheltered, whatever that may be, but you also don't want your kid to be overly sensitized, overly exposed. And there is no happy medium here. There's no happy medium here.
Right.
There's no happy medium. I'm sorry. So I would rather for my kid not to be overly exposed. I'd rather for my kid to be underexposed than overexposed in these kind of situations. And that's all I'm saying. I'd rather for my kid to be underexposed than overexposed in these kind of situations. Now, if you're talking about, danger and all that other stuff, no, I want my kid overexposed to that kind of stuff. But there are some things you don't want your kid overexposed to. Because then you got, is, truth be told, when I was coming up, I was overly sexualized and overexposed to sexuality and humping and all that other stuff. Mm-hmm. That stuff was around when we were young.
Yeah.
But there was also some control in that when we didn't have these other devices. And so that's my thing. My thing is kids are going through having natural experiences, and then they're having these other experiences with these other devices on top of these other experiences. That's overkill, or it can be. It can be overkill.
But whose responsibility is it to not be, if they are a child?
If my kid is at your house, so I know not to send my kid to your house because you're gonna be listening to Big Frida and Rob. So I wouldn't send my kid to your house now that I know that. But if I did not know that, my kid would be at your house spending the weekend with Auntie Margot. She listening to fuck bitch this, fuck nigga this, shit that. Whoa, wait a minute.
No, I didn't say that. But
no, I'm not saying you saying that. I'm putting an example out. Is what I'm saying. Because you got some people they don't necessarily have to hear it at home. They hear it out in the world,
and that's why. There we go. The way of the world. They can't. And here I go with sheltering again. If you keep your kid in a bubble,
you can't control what that kid gets. You just don't want to, because you want to rely on the way of the world and the kid being under shelter.
Yeah, it's on TV. It's on everywhere that you look. It's two men kissing. It's two ladies kissing. It's out there.
But most 2-year-olds ain't looking at 2
to 10. We say 2 to 10. A 10-year-old, they may come across something on 10, Netflix.
But I'm talking about my younger. I'm more or less been focused on Gracie's Corner's age group. Right? And so I'm saying like 2 to 6, 2 to 7. they are not usually sitting up looking at NCIS and usually sitting up looking at the BET Awards and stuff like that. They are not usually doing that. At least I hope they're not. Maybe they are. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure.
These kids is rapping. These kids are rapping bars. These kids are rapping whole bars.
But you're a bad parent. So we need to have you arrested.
That's what I'm saying. You are the parent. You are in control of what your kid watches and listen to. That's you. You have control of that child. It's your control.
When your child come to my kid's school, disrupting the school because your kid is too grown, then what? Then you put your kid out in the world. You sent that kid out in the world overexposed and overstimulated. So then what?
But that's not necessary. Okay, but then
the rest of us got to deal with that.
Again, that doesn't necessarily, just because your child has been exposed to stuff like that, does not necessarily mean that your child is going to turn out to be a bad person. So you're saying
that's not what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying. That's where it's going.
Most will tell you that kids cannot gather that kind of information and.
You just muted yourself.
Read about it. It's the knowledge. It's not sheltered knowledge. So when you send your kid overstimulated and overexposed, that's why you got all these behavior issues. You got all these mental issues. You got all this other stuff in school because kids are overstimulated and overexposed at young ages. Yes, it's a real thing. It really is a real thing. Kids are sensitive.
I get.
You can call it sheltered, but maybe they should be sheltered.
I get that. And I'm going back to, what is it that they're being shown? Like they see it on TV. I don't know. I'm kind of lost right now. I'm kind of lost because that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying a 2-year-old is not going to. I'm not gonna say not. It's possible that they are not going to read in as much as us as an adult. When they're not reading into all of that. We put that on our kids.
But if you said
you watch Big Frida. Oh my God, don't watch Big Frida. Like what?
But Margot, if you said a kid is a sponge, kids see what they see. They don't do what they say. Kids see and do what they are shown.
Right.
99% of the time.
You absolutely right.
They do not get to hear your voice and say, I shouldn't do that. Because if they see the opposite, they're going to do the opposite. What I'm saying is we need to show them appropriate stuff. That's all I'm saying. I don't.
This is a point. So if my 2-year-old is watching Big Frida, featuring Big Frida on this roll your boat, no, nothing about Big Frida. They're not gonna go further and be like, oh, let me find like Big
How
Frida.
do you know that?
I'm just saying. I'm using an example. I'm not saying it.
Okay.
Because how do you not know that? So it goes both ways. So they're watching roll your boat. Big Frida is on there. And then here you come walking in here. You're like, oh my God, you listen to the Big Frida? Oh, it's Big Frida. Now you didn't spark something in them to be like, who is Big Frida? Now the questions. They didn't watch roll your boat. They was fine with it. They went on to the next song, to the ABC song.
Respond like that.
But I'm just saying, they're sponges, and then now they feel like something is wrong. Or if they
anyway because they saw it, I would have rather for them not even see it.
But they did see it and nothing happened. Like they seen it,
I don't know if anything is going to happen.
But you don't. You do and you don't
right now
because they seen the cartoon.
It may happen a year after that
because they see the cartoon.
What if my boy after Big Frida? But let me ask you this: what if my son, is watching Big Frida, sees Big Frida, sees the voice, goes and gets my wig, and comes in there and starts singing roll your boat? Then what?
You talk to your child. You talk to your child.
Why should I have to expose my kid at 2? That's my point. Like, wouldn't you rather have the lesser?
But
wouldn't you rather have the lesser?
So, but why does that? Okay, because it's okay. We still talking about Big Frida on here. Big Frida looks like a female. If your son went in there and put on a wig, don't know nothing about Big Frida, right? They just put on a wig because they didn't seen this person on here. Now you don't know what your kid knows.
She been at your house.
Now you don't know what your kid knows.
Frida, I don't know what my kid knows.
No, it goes both ways. It goes both ways.
I'm just, but that's also a factor. You have environmental, you have home, you have family, you have all of these factors that go into a child's life.
So what are you supposed?
All of these different factors, and not everybody is on the same accord all the time. You can't. It's impossible to be on the same accord all the time.
You're right.
So what I'm saying is, why not have the lesser? Is what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're not going to be exposed. I'm just saying, why not expose them less than more?
So don't have
give me a chance to catch up to the kids. So, like Jesus Christ.
So don't have Big Frida on Gracie's corner.
I didn't say that. I would have rather have been on there as the elephant, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not saying that. And honestly, I don't know what the solution to that. I'm just talking about being strictly age appropriate at 2, 4, 6. That's all I'm saying. I don't know if Big Frida is appropriate. I don't know if Big Frida is appropriate.
I think it's a combination of, because again, it's the way of the world. So here's the way of the world. Now it's a combination of the parent parenting. And if they don't want their child to be exposed, then they have to do what they have to do to not be exposed, because there are people who would not mind that. So you have this thing here, and then you have two sides. Either you don't want your child to be exposed, or you don't mind for your child to be exposed.
Right. But what do we hear all the time? Because I know I've heard this. I've heard my niece, who has like a 7, a 8, and a 12-year-old or something. I've heard my niece even say this, like, what she does at her house, and when her kids go over her friends' houses, she's thinking that they're all on the same page, but yet the parents, the kids are in the rooms because the parents aren't on them like they are, and they're doing something completely different. What I'm saying is the exposure is there. I would rather for the information to be disseminated a little slower, is all I'm saying. A little slower. And why can't we just appreciate getting our information a little slower? Why do we have to say, well, it's the way of the world, so that shouldn't need to go as fast as the internet goes? Why are we saying that to young children? Why are we saying that?
I don't think
And why is that acceptable that we say that?
I don't think that it is acceptable. Again, it's a double. It's a double. You have this entity that's here. It's not going anywhere. So either you're pro or you're con. Either you decide to parent your child in one way, or you parent your child another way. It all leads to the parent. Nothing should be left up to the child. You said the child doesn't have a choice. They don't. They have a parent to make that choice. So if you, as a parent, do not want your child to be exposed because it's not going anywhere, then you need to do precautions and do whatever you need to do so your child is not exposed. If you're a little bit more lax, and you be like, okay, well, I don't mind.
That's a lot more lax.
I don't
mind just a little.
Because I wouldn't. No, it's not a lot, because I wouldn't mind my kid.
2 and 4. That's a lot lax. I'm not talking about a 6, 7, 8. I'm talking about a 2 and 4. That's a lot lax.
I would not mind. I would not mind if I was a parent for my 2 to 4-year-old to see Big Frida on this cartoon.
No. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about strictly the age appropriateness.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at age appropriate stuff. So the entity in the middle is I'm gonna use this Gracie's Corner. The entity is the Gracie's Corner with Big Frida on it. If I'm a more lax parent, I'm not gonna mind my child 2 to 10 to watch this video. But if I'm not a lax parent, then I need to make sure that my child doesn't watch something like that. And then there is the exposure that's in the middle, where they may be at Auntie Gogo's house. And because I'm a little bit more lax, I might allow them to watch Big Frida. But because I know my friend does not like her child to be exposed to that, because that's my friend, so I understand that, I wouldn't allow them to watch it, because that's not what they want to do. But that's not the way of the world right there, because some people be like, fuck it, shit. My kid watching it, your kid gonna watch it. But, you just got to watch who your kids are around and what they, what they're exposed to, if you can. It's out there. Like, it's not going anywhere. And it's not, and I don't think that is the point of throwing it down anybody's throat. Like, it's getting faster, but it's here. It's been here. It's been here for years. Like, it didn't happen 2023. This has been going on for a long time. So.
Well, I get it. I'm just saying there still should be the conversation and there still should be the thought. We should not just be chalking shit up to the way of the world. There still should be some context. There still should be some thought. There still should be some effort. We should not just be chalking shit up to the way of the world.
Which is why I'm throwing it out lightly, the way of the world. Like, that's me saying the way of the world.
But some people will think like that, like, well, it's just what it is what it is. And it's like, no, it don't have to be that way.
I mean, it's both, because it is that way and it's going to continue being that way. But what do we do to combat that? What do we do? What things do we put in place to make sure that our kids are aware or not aware?
My kid only can watch Bluey. So when my kid comes to your house, they can only watch Bluey.
Bluey be having sexual connotations to it too. All of that stuff. All those cartoons. I don't care what you watch. SpongeBob. I'll be like, whoa, that's way over the kid's head.
We don't watch SpongeBob. No. We don't watch SpongeBob at 2, 3, 4.
Bluey too.
What I'm saying.
We only watch Bluey. Bluey be having his little things too. So I'll be like, okay. But yeah, I mean, it all goes back to parenting. However you want to parent your child, that's how you parent your child. And I mean, it is a conversation. It's something that y'all as parents need to figure out, what you want. I mean, you've seen the people fighting and beating up people because they didn't want their kids. I don't know what was said in the school, so I can't say nothing, but it's not that serious to be out there fighting. That's crazy. That's weird and crazy. I understand, but you don't need to be fighting nobody. Like brawling over it.
Well, I mean, I get it, and I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. Like, why can't we slow information down? It doesn't matter what the way of the world is going. We can control how we slow information down and deliver to our children.
No, you as a parent. We as a
society. No. We as a society can control that.
No, you as a parent.
Yes, because if we don't patronize, if we don't watch, we have the power. Just like we have, it goes back to like we have spending power. We have the power to do whatever we want to do. We just don't do it, and there's a difference. It's not that we don't have the power not to. We just don't do it. But what if we did? What if we did? What would that look like for our kids? Mm-hmm. Would our kids have less behavior problems? Would our kids have more focus? Would our kids what would that look like? And which one would we prefer? Would we prefer to just be in the world, of the world, doing the world fucked up, but we like, it's the way of the world. Like, what are we doing here? That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
I digress.
Again, I'm not saying anything against Gracie's Corner, because I didn't know about Gracie's Corner until today because I ain't got no damn kids. But and I don't have no nieces. Well, do I have nieces and nephews that young? No, not really, not anymore. They like 7, 8. I think the youngest I have is a 7, 8-year-old. But hell, even the 7, 8-year-old, it's almost like he's 15. And do we want him to be 15? Heck no. We want him to be 7, 8. Can't even do the fun shit with him anymore because he's so damn boring and grown. But I digress. I digress. Sorry, Gracie's Corner.
It's the way of the world.
Oh God. Oh God.
Happy summertime, y'all. That's it. I'm bluey right now. I'm bluey. I'm tired.
I was not trying to healthy debate is healthy debate, right?
Yeah, I love a good
debate. You know me, I can debate all day long.
No, that was a good healthy debate because Yeah.
Now you tired. You gonna go crash.
I'm gonna go. I'm already ready to crash. Being ready to crash. I'm trying not to cough on y'all. So yes, thank you, Patrice, for the great debate and being on the show tonight. And Miss Mary will be back next week, and Miss Patrice might be back next week. Who knows?
All right.
So thank you guys for listening. We are an hour and 30 minutes in. So.
Well, thank you for having me, and I appreciate it, and thank you all for listening.
Yeah,
you do a great job.
Thank you, and we will be here next week. Y'all have a good weekend.